Assalamu alaikum students. Hope you all are doing well. First of all, I welcome you all in your new class. Before the start of today's lecture, let me introduce myself. My name is Sonia Fareed and I am going to teach you biology. And in this session, we are going to follow the National Book Foundation's biology textbook as a federal board textbook. As you all know that you have done 13 chapters in your grade first year, and from today onward we are going to start from chapter 14, that is respiration. Now what is respiration? We all know that it is a cellular breakdown of food with the release of energy. It occurs at two levels, that is cellular level and organismic level, and according to this it has two types: internal respiration and external respiration. Internal respiration, it is a breakdown of complex organic compounds into organic or inorganic ones with the release of energy. It is catabolic process and it occurs at cellular level. External respiration, it is inhaling of oxygen and exhaling of carbon dioxide. It occurs at organismic level, and both these processes are interrelated, as the oxygen required for cellular respiration is inhaled from the environment, while the carbon dioxide which is produced in cellular respiration is exhaled into the environment. Here is a respiratory system of man and its different organs. Now, what are respiratory surfaces? A respiratory surface is an area where gaseous exchange occurs between the environment. It must have several characteristic or properties so that it can perform its function very well, and these include moist and permeable surface, must be thin, it must possess large surface area, it must possess good blood supply, and it must have good ventilation mechanism. Now there are two regions of respiratory system: upper respiratory system or upper respiratory tract, and lower respiratory system or lower respiratory tract. Now let's discuss which regions are included in upper respiratory tract and lower respiratory tract. In upper respiratory tract, it includes nostrils, nasal cavity and pharynx. Now let's discuss them one by one. The nose is the only visible part of your respiratory system. It is composed of bones, cartilage and fatty tissues. Its external openings are called nostrils, and its internal hollow spaces are known as nasal cavities, which are separated from each other by the help of septum. The cavity near the nostrils is called vestibules, which contain a network of hairs. Both the nostrils and nasal cavities are lined by mucous membranes along with the cilia. Now what is the function of these nasal hairs, mucus and cilia? Their function is they act as a defense mechanism against the harmful pathogens. The mucus and cilia, they filter the air. They prevent the entry of foreign particles, for example microorganisms, dust and many other things. And mucus helps to moisten the air which enters inside your respiratory system. Cilia move the trapped substances with pharynx for their removal. They also maintain the temperature of your air that enters into your nasal cavity. Pharynx is a cone-shaped passageway leads toward larynx and esophagus. It is the part of digestive system as well as respiratory system. It is important in vocalization, that is the production of sound. It divided into three regions: nasopharynx, oropharynx and laryngopharynx. Naso towards nasal cavity, oro towards your esophagus or oral cavity, and laryngo towards your larynx. Lower respiratory tract, it includes larynx, trachea, bronchi and lungs. Larynx is a airway at the top of trachea and below the pharynx. It is composed of muscles and cartilage. One of the cartilage forms epiglottis. This structure basically allows the air to enter into the larynx, and during swallowing the epiglottis is closed. The opening of the larynx is also known as glottis. They contain elastic fibers and responsible for the production of sounds by the help of vocal cords, which is produced by the vibration of vocal cords with the help of air that is being exhaled. Trachea is also known as windpipe. It consists of dense regular tissue and smooth muscles with 15 to 20 C-shaped cartilaginous rings. Now the bronchi and bronchioles. Trachea divides into smaller tubes called bronchi. The primary bronchi. Primary bronchi divide into secondary bronchi. 2 secondary bronchi enters into the lungs and 3 into the right lung. The secondary bronchi give rise to the tertiary bronchi, and these bronchi continues to branch finer and even finer to form bronchioles, which are even 1 micrometer less than in diameter. They also give rise to the terminal bronchioles, which ends at the alveoli. Alveoli are the endings of your respiratory bronchioles. They contain air-filled chambers that is known as alveoli. Alveoli are the sites of gaseous exchange. They have got several properties, that is they are 0.1 micrometer thick. They are composed of flattened cells of squamous epithelium. They also contain collagen and elastoproteins for contraction and relaxation after inhaling and exhaling. External structure of lung. Lungs are the principal organs for respiration. They are cone shaped. We have 2 lungs, right and left, and they are separated by each other with the help of mediastinum heart. Mediastinum is the space between the 2 lungs. Left lung is divided into 2 lobes and right lung is divided into 3 lobes. Mechanism of breathing. The structures that are involved in ventilation or breathing are diaphragm, intercostal muscles, that is the muscles present between the pairs of ribs, and abdominal muscles. Intercostal muscles are of 2 types: internal intercostal muscles and external intercostal muscles. Internal intercostal muscles are present below the ribs, and external are present above the ribs. 2 phases of breathing are present: inspiration and expiration. Now what is inspiration or inhalation? In this case, diaphragm and intercostal muscles contract, and hence they increase the area of thoracic cavity, which leads to the rushing of air inside the lungs. Here are the events which are responsible for the inhalation process. Expiration. The diaphragm relaxes and intercostal muscles relax also, and they push the air out of the lungs, and here are the sequence of events through which air is being exhaled from your lungs. And here is a comparison between the events of inhalation and events of exhalation. Respiratory volumes. What are respiratory volumes? Amount of air lungs are capable of occupying is known as respiratory volumes, and it vary depending upon your health, type of breath, gender, and in case of respiratory diseases it may also affect your respiratory volumes. As we all know that breathing is an involuntary action and we cannot control by our conscious. There is a center in your brain called medulla, which is known as breathing center. Its lower portion is known as inspiratory center because it increases the rate and depth of respiration, and its dorsal and ventral lateral side is known as expiratory center because it inhibits inspiration and promotes the expiration. Cerebral cortex also responsible for the rate and depth of breathing, its control, and emotions also controlled your breathing rate by the help of limbic system.